Hello.
Hey.
So this is our YouTube, the H.O.P.E Group channel. We're here just to give you an introduction of who we are, what our purpose is for this group, and what we hope to accomplish with with this organization.
So we're going to start with our personal introductions, just to tell you guys a little bit about ourselves and who we are, why we're here, what made us want to help, and things like that. So I'll start with myself. I'm Jazmin. I'm the founder of the H.O.P.E Group. I'm 24 years old and I'm a firefighter. I decided to start this group because I think that the topic of like depression and suicide, especially in young adults, has really become not that it's not hasn't always been an issue, but it has become a really serious issue that is very underrated. We don't ever talk about these topics as much as we talk about sports or other things like that. I also lost my brother to suicide, and I have suffered from depression, like traumatic event anxiety just from that particular situation. So I think that is really going to will help us to help other people with this issue.
I'm Brandis. So I have joined in with Jazmin in starting this group. I have the same sentiments that she have. It's my desire to help others, especially when it comes to our community, because it is something that we don't talk about. We don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about depression. We kind of sweep it under the rug. And it's becoming an epidemic. It's a silent killer. And, my hope is that we're able to, even if we're able to just save one person, that's a life that's worth saving. We are not professionals, so we are not here to diagnose anyone for any type of treatment. However, we're here to create a safe space for people to be able to come in and share their experiences, share their feelings, if they are feeling depressed, if they're feeling lost, if they're feeling lonely, if they're feeling like they don't have any hope. We want to provide the safe space for them to come in and share that, and to be able to give them tools that they can use to cope. Her brother was my boyfriend and the father of my kids, so we lost him together. It was not an easy. That's not an easy loss. I don't wish that upon anyone, to have to deal with suicide in that manner. So we're going to talk about what our purpose is. We're going to talk about some of the signs that come with depression. We are going to talk about other things that we want to be able to incorporate into this organization, into helping others, and we'll be posting or try to post weekly videos, just to have different topics that we discuss, anything that we feel like people may need to talk about, or we may need to address. We want to be able to come to you each week and kind of give you an overview of different things that you can, if you're someone who's dealing with it, or you're someone who knows someone who's dealing with it, then you have the tools, or you have the information to be able to see the signs, or to be able to help someone else. So our main goal is to be able to help others. That's really what we want to do. It's near and dear to our hearts.
Before we start, just want to say that the H.O.P.E Group is more than just videos. We also do Facebook Lives every week to engage in discussions. Also, the H.O.P.E Group is going to host in-person meetings, outings, just, the group's main goal is to bring people in who need that place to be able to talk about how they feel or share their situations, make connections and form relationships with people they can relate to. A lot of people don't go seek help because they feel like people won't understand them. And being around people that have gone through or is going through or has made it through or whatever the case may be, some of the similar situations that you have gone through, it kind of helps settle your heart knowing that when you speak to them, they can actually honestly say they understand how you may feel or what you may be going through. So in this introduction, like I said, we were just introducing the program. We're going to give you some information about some different signs, symptoms, some things you could just pay attention to for yourself and for loved ones or people that you're around. Signs of depression and suicide data, different methods and things like that. So, all right, so just a few signs of depression that are written. Like, you can find these signs in different doctors' offices or just posted around, because these are the main signs that make a therapist or psychologist, whoever you may see, want to diagnose you with depression. So if you have those main signs like, sadness, a loss of appetite, insomnia, a change in sleep habits, feeling like socially isolated, excessive fatigue, loss of interest in activities, mood swings, the feeling of guilt. Those are main signs that if you're around somebody on a daily basis or you know somebody very closely, you would notice a change in. However, you do have people who show no signs. No signs of depression that would make you even, that you wouldn't pay attention to. For example, my brother. My brother didn't show any signs prior to committing suicide. Now, after he committed suicide, we went back and just thought about some things that he did that day or the day before that seemed like they were a little off and not his normal, but they weren't signs like, he's going to commit suicide. Yeah. And that one thing that I can remember us talking about is the way that he gave his daughter a hug before she came to my house. He hugged her for a very long time as if he wouldn't see her again, but him doing that, we still didn't think that was the last time that he would see her. So, like I said, everybody does not show those main signs that stick out for you to say, he or she may be depressed.
She's correct. Again, I was with him that day, so for me, those were little things that I kind of like in my mind. I was just like, that's odd, but it wasn't like a red flag. Like, oh my gosh, like I need to like something's wrong. Again, like he talked about, he took food out. Like he talked about going across the street to his uncle's and we were gonna cook and have dinner, and so nothing made me think like, okay, like what's wrong with him. However, days before that, there were small things that were a little bit out of his character, but again, it wasn't anything that made me say like he was gonna do something like that. Like it just was like, okay, like maybe, let's talk. What's going on? Like we can get through anything. And so, like she said, a lot of times, like people don't necessarily exhibit signs that you can be like, okay, like something's wrong with him. He's so sad. Like it doesn't work that way for everybody. Here in our group, there's no judgment. We don't want you to feel ashamed. A lot of times people don't speak up or don't say anything because they feel that shame. They feel like they're going to be judged for, of having, these feelings or these thoughts, or, because they, don't react a certain way, don't respond a certain way. So we want you to know that there's no judgment here. There's no room for anyone to feel ashamed, because we've all been in dark places. We want to prevent anyone from staying there. We want to prevent anyone from not being able to pull themselves out of it, because once you reach the bottom, the only other place you can go is to the top. And so that's our goal, is to help others, lift them up, and show them that their hope is not lost. There's always light at the end of every tunnel. Like, you can get through it. You just need a good support system, and you need people who genuinely care. And like Jazmin said, you need people who can really understand and relate to you. So, we're able to relate because we've been through it. I've been through, I've attempted suicide myself. Thank God I was not successful, and I wasn't really brave enough to really, do an actual attempt. Like, my attempt was, I was going to jump off a 3-story balcony. Now, for some, that might have been like, oh, you just would have hurt yourself. But for me, in that moment, I was looking at it like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I don't feel like anyone loves me. I don't feel like anyone cares. I feel like I'm the black sheep of my family. I feel like I'm all by myself. I'm all alone. This was prior to me having kids, so it was just me. And I'm just like, well, nobody's going to miss me if I'm not here. But that was an eye-opener to me, and I never attempted that ever again. So, we're just here to let you know that, there are methods that people can use. You can use firearms. We don't want you to use these things, so let's put that out there. Like, these are not the methods that we're telling you are not methods that we want you to try. These are methods that people have used in order to accomplish or attempt to accomplish this act. So people have used firearms, they have used suffocation, they have done overdose, like by taking drugs or pills or poison. People have alcohol abuse. If even manipulating others to help them commit the act themselves. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to go over a few definitions. You have like suicide ideation, suicide attempt, and the actual suicide. So plain as it is, mm-hmm. Suicide ideation is the idea or the thought, like when you just have those thoughts like, oh my God, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired. I just want to die. I just want to sleep forever. Those type of things. Those are ideas of suicide, the thought of it. Suicide attempts are, of course, the key action that a person would take to try to commit suicide, but it's unsuccessful. And, of course, you guys know suicide is the success of the act that a person, basically the success of an attempt. Mm-hmm. Just a few stats. So like back in 2017, there were like 47,000 or so reported suicides, and 10,000 of them were females, and 35,000 of them were male. Now, we researched that and got that number. Now we're still off because that's only 45,000 people. But just to say that, the any numbers we give you guys or any type of data that we research, different websites and different different resources have different numbers, but it's just to get a general idea of the epidemic. Right now, overall, suicide ranks as the 10th leading cause of death. And, you know, there are, how do I want to say this? There are so many people in our everyday lives that are suffering and you would never know it. I think that was back in 2018 or 2017. Don't quote me. It was one of the 2 years that there were twice as many suicides than homicides in the U.S. So, you know, that just goes to show that this is really big and it's very underrated. You know, when we watch TV or we're on Instagram or Facebook, like everything is about sports and everything is about, you know,
the government and
things that don't put suicide under, you know, like suicide is important just like everything else, if you ask me. So again, the H.O.P.E Group is here to help because there is hope, and you know, if you just hold on, pain does end. And this is our first video. There are more to come. And this video was really just to give you guys a general idea of what we're going to bring to the table. We have a Facebook page that is a group. We have an Instagram, follow us at _H.O.P.E Group. We just started this YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe.
And share.
Yes, and please share. These videos are going to be very informative. Even if you just need a daily pick-me-up, you know, you can always watch. Another thing, in this YouTube channel, we are going to have interviews. We're going to interview people who can share their story. You know, people who may be still going through that want to share, and people that were able to overcome. And people who are able to overcome can be a very big motivation to people's lives. You know, give ideas on how to cope or how to get better, things like that.
And she's being modest because as a firefighter, she can give you firsthand account of what she sees every day. Mm-hmm. Not just from a standpoint of people who have attempted to commit suicide or people who have been successful at it, but just people who are dealing with mental health, period. And let me also say that suicide doesn't necessarily look like, oh, I'm sad today, I want to end it all. Like people who constantly harm themselves, like, you know, they are on drugs, these are people who have no hope. And, you know, people who are suffering from addictions that are harming their bodies, that's literally killing them every day. Those things contribute to that fine line of suicide too, even though they're not verbally saying, oh, I'm going to kill myself today. But every time they relapse, or every time they overdose, or every time they are on something that is literally killing them, that is them non-verbally saying, hey, I don't care about my life. I don't think anyone else cares about my life. So I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do to escape. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people are looking for, escape. So in her profession, she sees that, and she's going to have a lot of insight to bring to the table to, you know, to share that this is not just something that she just arbitrarily just wanted to do. Like, this is something that she sees every day, and it affects her, it affects, you know, her family, it affects everyone that she comes in contact with. It affects their families. And she gets to see this and she gets to share this with all of us. So, we want to also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. You have anything you want to ask her just because of the field that she's in. She sees this stuff. So this is something that, we really want to prevent, especially among young people. And people are getting younger and younger where they are having these ideas of suicide, because of bullying, not just bullying online, but bullying in school. Younger people, are having more access to firearms, or they're having access to prescription drugs and things like that. And those people need a voice. And we're here to be that voice for those who are afraid to speak up for themselves.
So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share. This is just the beginning of something beautiful. Again, we have a Instagram page. It's at @the_H.O.P.E Group. We also have a group on Facebook where we do weekly lives as well, where we do interactive conversations where people can comment and we can all just interact. And if you're in the DMV area and you want to be a part of this group, once this group becomes active, where we're doing our monthly meetings and monthly outings, please reach out. You can leave a comment. You can follow the Instagram, send DMs. Also, I will leave the email. So hold on, pain ends.
Yep. So thank you for watching. Again, like she said, we want you to subscribe. We want you to share. She just said something and I totally lost what she was saying.
What was it?
She was saying if you're in the DMV area, if you want to be a part or you want to help, because we need help. We need volunteers. This is not a 2-team person. We are looking for those who, if you know,
Two-person team.
Two-person person.
You said two-person person.
What? We can't do this all by ourselves. Our goal is for it to grow. So if you want to help, we definitely would love the help. We want to be able to we just want to be able to help others. And so if you know professionals, as far as therapists or counselors, even clergy, if you know, please, hit us up, let us know. These are also other tools that we can provide to those who are in the group as members. These are other outlets that we can provide to them for help. If we feel that someone may need to see someone professional, we can direct them in the right way. Again, we are not professionals. We are not here to diagnose. We are simply here to be an avenue to help others get the help that they need. Yep. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye.